Yesterday when the Dominion settlement was announced, a settlement that we always knew was going to occur. I mean, there was no doubt about that. I was so interested to hear, what will people be talking about? What will people be discussing? What do you think it'll be? Will it be what? What's the? How does this work? Does that make any sense? How does this thing? I kept waiting. I thought for sure they're going to. Now, of course, you're not going to hear anything on Fox, because that would be stupid, and even they're not going to say anything. They're going to forget the whole thing, and you'll forget the whole thing because you forget everything. You forget everything. You forget everything. You just don't care. It's not interesting for a while. Okay. Some people love the idea. They say, well, why are they $780 million? That's a lot of money. Punitives. Wait till you get into those. Because of those stupid texts. That's the difference. Now, I want to explain this to you so that you can go away today. And especially I want you to listen if you're in a podcaster situation, or maybe you're doing your own, or maybe you figure, well, I have to worry about that. The same way you think you don't have to worry about privacy concerns. Oh, you got to worry about things. It's easier than you think, but the nuances behind this are what's incredibly fascinating. But nobody is doing anything about this. Nobody even remotely cares about what is the takeaway from this. And that's the part which I don't understand. Now, before we begin, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. As you know, we don't talk about things all the time. We don't talk about stuff. We don't talk about things. We just don't talk about things. And we don't talk about things that are particularly scary. And the thing I want you to understand is that the food shortage fears that we had, they haven't gone away. Let me see if I can explain this to you. They haven't gone away. The food emergencies, supply chain issues, they're not there. If something goes wrong and you need a 90-day supply of food, do you have that? No. My Patriot Supply is doing business now like they can't believe. And why? Because people recognize the fact. There are certain companies. It's like if all of a sudden ammo sales are through the roof, or whatever. You put yourself in the position like, well, wow, that's really interesting. Why would ammunition sales be? Well, the reason why is because people have a tremendous sense of dread and fear as to what's happening. So right now, preparewithlionel.com, you can save $200 on a kit that is a 90-day, 3-month kit per person. It's the best selling deal there is. Go to preparewithlionel.com and also see the other items and equipment available for you in the event of a disaster. Water purifiers and every conceivable form of food and emergency food and the like that you could ever imagine. Preparewithlionel.com. But look at what's going on right now. Look at the deals. Use the link preparewithlionel.com. Only that one, because this is a special deal for Lionel Nation viewers and followers. And I cannot explain this to you enough. Preparewithlionel.com. Okay. As you know, libel, defamation. We used to say slander. Slander is merely spoken word, but it's libel. Libel is a statement of fact that causes damages. It's false. Statement of fact. That's false. That causes damages. It's very simple. If it's a statement of fact that's true and it causes damages, it's not libel. It might be some other things. It might be the invasion of privacy. Delaware still has that tort. That's why Hunter Biden has that lawsuit going against the laptop repairman. And you may think the laptop owner owns everything. I don't think so. But irrespective of that, Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. The issue that we have here is very simply this, and I can't say it enough. It is a statement of fact that is false that causes damages. Dominion claims, and this is where it gets really nuanced, that Fox News defamed them, libeled them on a number of different ways. Let's build it up, kind of like we're building up a dish. You start off with the mushrooms, and then we're going to build it. We're going to add the flavor. We're going to make the flavors more complex. We're going to build it. Okay. There is a feeling right now that people have, especially in the right, or whatever you want to call it, that the 2020 election was completely stolen, and this is the refrain of Donald Trump, that 2020 was invalid. Throw it out. He's not only was it wrong, but he's the president. This is what he's saying. This is what Donald Trump is saying. You got it? Donald Trump says, I'm the president. I'm the president. Me. Not only was it wrong, okay, fine. And through the course of this came Sidney Powell, out of nowhere. Sidney Powell. And she was I loved her. She was on every show there was. And there was this group of people. Sidney Powell. This Jenna Ellis, I don't know, she kind of got off relatively unscathed. Joe DeGeneva, Victoria Tenzing, and poor Rudy. Rudy with the dye. And they were off, and they were saying that the 2020, okay, you know the story. And the difficulty in explaining to people is there's a difference in saying that there were campaign irregularities versus the entire election was, okay, we're not going to argue that point now. It's moot, but you can think whatever you want. Then all of a sudden it came to be about dominion, 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 dominion. And all these people came out of nowhere, and they said not only was the election frozen, or stolen rather, but that dominion and these machines, and I'm giving you, I didn't follow it, but everything from they were connected to Venezuela, I don't know, but they were fraudulent, and in essence, that either Dominion knew about it, should have known about it, but Dominion. You just say Dominion, people go crazy. This Pavlovian patellar reaction to Dominion. Dominion. Okay. And Sidney Powell was just digging this. And you can release the Kraken. Oh, they love that. And everybody, they love this stuff. It was great. And the Fox numbers were going up too. People love this stuff. Look at this. Here's a picture of so-and-so. Here's Dinesh D'Souza. Dinesh did a great thing of 2,000 mules. And I mean, it was. And if you think that there was nothing phony about portions of that, now I don't know which one's which, but you can look at this and say, now, wait a minute, hold it. Cardboard, viewers and inspectors. We're not going to go through that again. It's moot. But Dominion, that was one part of it. It was a kind of a generalized complaint, focus into one. So Fox News and Fox Business Channel would have on these people Sidney Powell, Rudy, this one, that one. Oh. Now stop right there. Let's assume they just had it. Fox just had them on. That's it. CNN had them on. You don't think, or CNN reported it. Let's assume Dominion says, wait a minute, this is wrong. You're, and this is what they said in essence. These statements are wrong. We didn't do this. They're wrong. These are statements of fact which are false that have libeled us. Fox News could have said, wait a minute, we're just reporting this. CNN says, we're just saying these people are claiming this. But that's not what Dominion said Fox did. Dominion said Fox not only had the people who made these claims on, but kind of supported it, kind of agreed with it, kind of said, yeah. That's a little bit different than just reporting it. But then people said, but wait a minute. You can have an opinion. Maria Bartiromo or whoever it was can say, yeah, and I agree with that. Maria, anybody has a First Amendment right to say, I think that so-and-so, I think that this company did this. I think, in my opinion, this causes cancer. I believe this. We hear this stuff all the time. Remember Oprah years ago? When she did she talked about cattle and hamburgers, and you're not going to see me eating a burger. Remember that? It was her opinion. Sort of. Maybe. I don't know what an opinion is. Is it really? Is this really an opinion? We don't know. It's strange. It's just, it kind of veers into the traffic. You know, like, for example, if somebody says, quote, yes, I think this election was staged. Okay. Yes, I think this election was stolen. Okay. Well, I believe, all right. I think that Dominion is... Now, wait a minute. Now we're naming names. And that, I think, turns into, yes, they did. And at that moment, now the opinion goes into a fact. But here's the best part. And listen carefully. Listen carefully. This is the most important aspect of this whole shebang, as it were. When you are seeing what's happening here, and you are trying to recognize all of these interesting cases, what we're seeing here is something else. And follow me on this one. This is important. This is critical. When you are reporting something, and you're merely saying, whatever it is, and you're a Dominion, and you're suing Fox News. This is a public figure. You're suing a public figure. These are people who are, and you're a public figure, and you've got this standard. You've got to show that these statements were made out of malice, because you're a public figure. You're out there. You're suing a public figure. Good luck. Good luck trying to sue a public figure. Good luck if you're a public figure. It changes the whole dynamic of things. Everything would have been fine. Everything would have been different. Everything would have been something, because you got to show, did Fox News show malice? Because that's where it changes. When a public figure is involved, it's a different story altogether. The difficulty, the problem of a defamation case is, even if you've got a claim that's valid, even if you're 100% correct, if the court considers that you are a public figure, it's a problem. If you're a public figure, you're defined as an individual or someone who has assumed a role of prominence in society, or you thrust yourself into the spotlight, like a government, a celebrity, or even a person who is at the center of a controversy. Public figures have got this higher burden. And when they bring a defamation suit, they've got to show that the defendant, people you're suing, acted with actual malice or a reckless disregard for the truth. Actual malice meaning you know it's wrong, or you didn't even care. And up till now, it's been a waste of time. Good luck. Because if you're a public figure, the old days they would say, don't even bother. Because you're not going to be able to show that the person who said this against you, you who's always out there, you who always sticks your nose in everything, that there was malice, that they actually knew it was false, that they actually knew what they were saying was incorrect. Good luck with that. It's not going to happen. Until the text messages changed everything. If there were no text messages, good luck. Good luck. You never see this. You don't see this. Here you've got one of these genius millionaires texting each other. Texting. I can't believe we're saying this. This is crazy. This guy's crazy. What the hell are we talking about? Can we say this? I don't know. This is crazy. What are we doing? This is nuts. Oh my God. Why do we do this? Well, because we got to print this crap. We got to say this. I don't want to say this. He's crazy. Rudy's crazy. This one's crazy. This Trump's crazy. I hate Trump. I hate Trump. This is Tucker. I hate, whatever. And then later on, say, I love you. Okay. You don't have this stuff. That's the case. Oh, you did. Oh, so you didn't. There's no malice. You've got it right here. What about this sentence? And you can go through the text message. And I'm sure some of them were taken out of context. And I'm sure that we don't have the whole situation. And I'll bet you that if we heard the entire list of all the text messages. But the point is, this is another lesson. You hang yourself. People do it all the time with social media, with talking. They think, I'm going to give you a terrible analogy, but it's true. It's called the picking your nose analogy. Okay? I'm going to explain to you this thing called privacy. But first, have you been to mypillow.com? Is that a good segue or what? Great. Have you been to mypillow.com? Have you used promo code Lionel? Have you? What is the matter with you? Are you seeing what they're doing right now? What is available? MyPillow.com, the deals, the temperature controlled, the toppers, the slippers. Oh my God! Or you can call 800-645-4965 and get the fastest answer to any of your problems. Dear God. MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Say it with me, Lionel. Lionel, not Lionell. I don't know why people think that. Promo code Lionel. Don't use any other code. Okay, I'm going to give you a terrible analogy. It's called picking your nose. We were at a stop sign, stoplight, whatever it is. I'm looking, this guy next to me, and he is digging. He has it up to the first knuckle. Mrs. L's getting sick to her stomach. I said, would you look at this? I can't look at this. This guy, it is how he doesn't cause brain damage. I have no idea. He didn't have tinted windows. He was right there. And I go, how are you? Why? Because within the confines of your own cocoon, your own world, you don't recognize these things. You don't know where you are. And because you don't know where you are, you don't seem to care about anything. Well, that's what happens when you're texting. Where do you think? You're in a corporate setting. All these geniuses. This is libel. Yeah. What? Should you be writing each other and commenting on Why? You're look at these geniuses. You're saying this is discoverable during a lawsuit. You're saying, I don't know if I should be saying this. Can you imagine a company saying, I don't know if we should put this product on the market. I'm not sure about that. I think it might cause cancer. I think there's ground glass in this baby food. I don't know if we should be. You're doing this because you're in the car and you don't think people are seeing you. It's incredible. Have you ever been in a corporate situation where they have these sex harassment seminars? They're the funniest thing. They get some person who goes, do you know the definition of sexual? Okay, whatever. And you're laughing. And they have this thing, and you got to go to it. You think somebody would say, don't text each other. Get a burner phone. Get whatever, something this. Why are you texting? Why are you writing this stuff? You didn't need Elon Musk to say, DMs? Yes. But not only that. Do you want they're coming after this. We have Rupert Murdoch. The picture of him should be all these red dots. All these red dots on him because they just want him. They hate him. They hate him beyond anything you can imagine. And here's what also you should be realizing. I hope that people at the Joe Rogan show, who I think it's the best show, the most important show, but they already told you, Joe, they're after you. And they want your scalp. They got you during the thing with Neil Young. By the way, did Neil Young ever pull his Spotify? Who? What about the, what's his name? Not Lars. Anyway, there was some other folks who pulled their, because they didn't like what Joe Rogan was saying about vaccines, and they're going after you. Joe, you say stuff all the time that you think. You're sitting there and I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm telling you right now, he is the most important show influencing. No, it may not look like much to you. It may not have a guy sitting around there, but it is huge. And he does so many good things by showing this. I don't say this, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's true. A childlike awe. They go, wow, I love that. Wow. So let's say, hypothetically, the following. Hypothetically. Joe brings on a guy who's, and I'm just, not that this has happened, but Joe brings on a guy that says that this vaccine from this company causes cancer. Let's assume. Or that this company is involved in some kind of a depopulation, weird, kind of a Malthusian eugenics depopulation horror show, trying to kill people. This is a claim. This is a claim. Joe Rogan, hypothetically, assume arguendo versus innuendo. Innuendo is an Italian suppository. But arguendo means, for the sake of argument, assume arguendo, this person comes on, and he's on a show that gets a gazillion listeners, more than anything. It's like it reverberates throughout the universe. Gee, the reason why there have been more theoretically libelous claims made, but not on this level. And you start, and the scrum starts, and you're throwing them back, and maybe you're doing some pito, or you're doing this, you're doing that, and next thing you know, you're having fun, and you're just laughing, and you say to yourself, I'm Joe Rogan. They love me. I'm just talking about it. And then you're in this lane, and all of a sudden, you veer just a little too much because you're kind of going, well, I think and I believe and I don't know. But all of a sudden and now you're in oncoming traffic. And you say, yes, that's true. Or you say you think it in such a way that you said that. And you think nothing of it. This is his idea. And maybe they convince you. Maybe you, in the course of this, listening to this persuasive person, say, wow. And this company picks up the phone and says, who wants to take Joe Rogan down? And they will line up. Just like Trump is the opposite. People will run from Trump. This will be run towards him. Big pharma, shadow government, whatever you want to call it, they would say, oh my God, we get to teach that guy a lesson because he got away with that before. He got away with it. Again, this is a hypothetical. Joe goes to trial and he says, excuse me, I never said anything. I'm merely reporting on what somebody else said. That's okay. Joe Rogan says, I'm not the only person who had this person. CNN reported him. Wall Street Journal, or they published him. Because remember, in New York Times against Sullivan, all the New York Times did was just print something that somebody else said. They just printed it. That's why Section 230 of the CDA provides an immunity from defamation against carriers and the like. But then it gets more interesting. Then we're into new versions. Then, when Joe and his people turn this into a short or into a clip or something, some youngster, some guy with a wool cap and a nose ring who's working whatever, cuts it so it makes it in some package, all of a sudden it's a different context. Now it's Joe Rogan saying it. Now, wait a minute. That's edited. No, that's what you put out. But wait a minute. That's not what I said. That's what you put out. Doesn't matter. Now, that's happening. Now, and you're thinking, I'm Joe Rogan. I'm a kick fighter. He's a good guy. He's a decent guy. You don't understand. What brought me to this, go on. What brought me to this fame is the fact that I'm able to say things that nobody else says. Continue. Those days are over. And the chilling effect. Give you another example. But first, a word from our sponsor. Now, my friends, how you feeling today? How you feeling? How's your system doing? How's your system? Is it good? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling good? Well, I'll tell you what. You should be asking yourself, maybe there's something you could be doing for your immune system. For your and to call it just, I think too much is put into this immune system. Do you really have enough of the right stuff coursing through your body? You know, some vitamins are water soluble, some are fat soluble, some stay with you. Do you know the idea is to make sure you get the right balance? And the idea, the best is for you to get this through food, but you don't eat. You have no idea what you're eating. And I'm not giving you a hard time. Z-Stack. That's all I'm saying. Just do yourself a favor. Go online and look at the Z-Stack link right now. Provided to you right now. And what I like to do is this. I like to go and like to read about it. Please do. Please read what these substances are. I always read menus. If I go someplace, I always like to read about the menu and see what it is. I don't like to be surprised. Read it. Get this wonderful little link for Z-Stack. There's a link for you. Just go and read for yourself. And ask yourself why you shouldn't be doing everything in your power to make sure that you have all of the nutrients you need to be healthy. That's it. Because you know you're not eating right. I'm sorry, but it's true. Okay. Z-Stack. Okay. One day, this is a true story. I'm going to leave the names out. One day, there was this person, I don't know, I don't follow, and showed up on YouTube or internet. And everybody just was jumping on her like you cannot believe. I mean, I'm thinking, what is this? Reminded me of Chicago, how a little tussle turns into a melee. And they're just, I mean, it's like this Gustav Le Bon. It's this crowd, this ochlocracy, this mob. It came out of nowhere. And they going after this one. We don't like you, and you're the... It's like, my God. And I'm listening to this, I'm watching this. And there are people doing their shows. And they're not listening to what they're saying. But it went from, well, this is what someone is saying about this person, to, this is what I think about this person. And then I'm thinking, no, wait a minute. And then it starts. And they're accusing her of everything you can imagine. Now, the only reason they weren't subject to any kind of actionable activity because they're too small. But there's one guy who's big. And I'm telling you, write this down. You're going to have somebody on TV that says, hello, my name is so-and-so. Remember they had the pelvic mesh? All of a sudden, pelvic mesh? Dear God, what is that? Remember Camp Lejeune? Remember that? Camp Lejeune? The water at Camp Lejeune? The marine, oh my God, it was everywhere. Here in New York, were you in 9/11? Were you in New York during 9/11? Yeah. Were you near Ground Zero? What do you mean near? Were you near? Oh, like, we're all kind of near. Were you? Yeah, okay, I was near. Does anything go wrong? Do you have any everywhere. Now, I'm not passing on the legitimacy of these things. Talc, Johnson & Johnson, this and that. Remember, all of a sudden, he's like, we'll fight for you. We're the lawyers. We're going to fight for you. We're fighting. I don't want to fight her. Your case speaks for itself. When you go to a lawyer, somebody says, hi, oh my God, you're really, what happened to you? I was in a head-on collision. I won't be able to walk. Oh my God, who hit you? This out-of-work guy in a stolen car. Good luck. Nice to know you. What do you mean? Guy's no insurance, or the insurance is, no. Where's my money? Who am I going to sue? What? What? Yeah, but I'm injured. I know you're injured. Aren't you going to fight for me? Fight what? This guy? Who is he? What's going on here? I mean, so I love when they tell you that. Ads on TV should be, we'll fight for you, provided the person we're fighting has got the money. If he doesn't have the money, or this, we ain't going to fight for you. But if, and this is, come on, this is reality. You can't sue somebody who doesn't have anything. But one day you're going to see, instead of those ads, have you been defamed on the internet? Has somebody called you out? Somebody said this about you? Watch what happens. And as soon as one person, and again, all the people online, they're going to have insurance, defamation insurance. I hope, and I'm sure, that anybody, even, because I think, you have no idea, love Joe Rogan. Lex Friedman is my new favorite. I think that's like that's some of the best stuff I've ever heard. That doesn't get wild, but somebody could say something. A statement of fact that is incorrect that causes damages. You never know. But if I were there, or Spotify or Joe Rogan, I'm saying we're going to have a class. Listen up. Here's what you're looking for. I want you to be listening. This in no way will affect the quality of our show, but I want you to be opinion fact. Opinion. Do you know the people who tell me, as a matter of fact, they will say things? I got an email from somebody today, God bless him, he said, whenever you hear anybody use the term PSYOP, they don't know what they're talking about. It's lingo. It's banter. It's the way we speak. Have you ever heard anybody from any group speak using their own vernacular? I love to hear listen to car dealers. I got involved. I was listening to, there's a segment of the internet devoted to Larry Bird trash talking. And there's about 4 stories, but they all say the same thing. And Larry Bird supposedly used to tell people what he was going to do and do it. And they couldn't believe it. It was Dominique Wilkins, this and that, Larry Bird, Moses, blah, 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 all these, whoever they were, Isaiah Thomas, and they were saying, Larry would say, all right, I'm gonna do a two-top and a flim-flam and a double dribble, cut left, post, Pickett, Wilson Pickett, Pickett stick it, in the post, post. I'm gonna go under the Pickett, I'm gonna double deuce you, I'm gonna triangulate from the deuce, the tray, and the 4. I don't know what he's talking about. And he'd do it. Wow. And what I loved to hear was not the story, but the lingo. I love the lingo. I love the way they speak. Every group has this thing. In our group, you especially, I can hear when somebody uses the word prostitute. Got it. PSYOP. Got it. LARP. Got it. Red pill. Got it. DARPA. Got it. HARP. Got it. Got it. Got it. How are you? I know you. I've met you a million times. I can talk to you the whole night. Other one. Talk to you. Hate crime. Okay, go ahead. Racist. Okay. Oh, CNN. Nice to meet you. How? I know you. I can talk to you. I got it. Every group's got their thing. Everybody. So I got somebody the other day who said, you have no idea. The people who make statements. President Kennedy was killed by, and they give an example of something and say, you don't understand. It's that Mac Wallace. That's it. That's all you got to know. That's it. Okay. And the more you challenge, the more they dig their... Okay, fine. So I've met these people. You've met these people, okay? We've met these people. And when they start talking, they forget. And there is a vaccine, CDC mentioned this one. Go to a party and say, anybody, do you all know the news? Yeah, okay, good. Word association, Bobby Kennedy Jr. See what happens. See what happens. The reaction will take you into 2 completely different worlds, and you know exactly who's who. I know it. I know these people. I know it. And within shows of that caliber, what we're saying right now is, unless you say left and right, for the sake of argument, just to make things easy, left and right. Nobody cares what the left is saying. So yeah, they say libelous things too, but when Joe Rogan says something, bigger name, bigger scalp, bigger target, and they never forgot you got away with that stuff before. You slithered away. You slithered away. It's weird too. Some people don't ever make it back. For example, Kathy Griffin never made it back. Keith Olbermann never made it back. Jon Stewart, for some reason, they don't want him back. Jon Stewart could be just this. They could just... I think he is supremely more naturally talented than any of these people before James Corden. But for some reason, I don't know who he ticked off. Just, nope. Certain people, don't know why, but Kathy Griffin could never get... The Dixie Chicks. No. Wait a minute, but they were against George Bush. Well, maybe it's different. I don't understand how this works, how the scrum works. I don't know. But what I'm telling you right now is that if you are a podcaster, if you're sitting around and you're making, you don't know how much money these people are making. I don't care who you are, and they want you to make money. This is the new frontier. This is it. This is the new commerce. And AI. It's going to have a harder. I don't know. We'll see. Because AI. You better have a class, and you better sit down, because you're going to be sitting to people who are just, nobody understood copyrightable problems before. Now they understand. They're very smart. But you got to understand, I'm not asking you, Moondog, whoever you are, Morgan, Megan, Tyler, whoever I'm not asking you. Look at me, eye contact, over here. I'm not asking you whether you agree with this. I'm telling you this is the way it is. Opinions are okay, but facts aren't. So who's our guest tomorrow? Who's running the show? Well, we have a guy. What does this guy say? Well, he's a guy who's talking about the pyramids. Okay, that's good. What about this? Well, this one he talks about, what's he talking about? Health. Tell me more. Is he making any claims? Well, yeah, he said he cured cancer. What was that? He cured cancer? He's not telling people to do this in lieu of anything, is he? Well, he's got to sell his book. Wait a minute, what was that? He's not telling people to forego chemotherapy and radiation over enemas and juicing, right? That's another angle that'll get you in trouble. Libel's one thing, false claims is another. Oh, I can see it right now. Because now they're going after the challenges. I did this Tide Pod challenge, and who told you that? The Eddie Splitsky show? How many people watch Eddie Splitsky? 40? 40. No, we're not interested. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, 40 million. We're suing. That's the way that works. Because now we got some kid who anything that you do, remember, the metric, it tells you all right there. You know what metrics are? Sue-worthy. That's all it means. Sue. It's the target. It's the zero. 40 million. I would have people, you listen to this show, give me Joe's list of, you say anything? No, okay. Now that stinks. Because what if you said, no, wait a minute. You're saying that this substance, this product on the market, assuming this is a pill, you're saying this is a part of some satanic depopulation move to destroy mankind? Yeah. Now that's newsworthy. Just like the guy who said he saw Elvis at a Burger King, just like somebody who said he saw UFOs. Shouldn't you be able to talk about this man who's making this claim? Yes. As long as you don't endorse it. As long as you don't say, well, I agree with it. But I'm giving him a platform to reiterate, to readdress, to republish this defamatory statement. And let's say we know that there's active litigation pending. Under the rules, this is newsworthy. You're merely discussing this man and his claim. Where does it veer off? Where does Joe Rogan go from merely telling you that this is what this nutcase is saying to, hey, did you hear the word? This stuff is about depopulation. Oh, wait a minute. Can you tell me the difference? Do you think there's a clear-cut reason? Do you think somebody's liability carrier is going to say, let's go to trial? Because they do a cost-benefit analysis. Who's the company? What's the claim? What's the damages? What do we got? Okay, this case is worth this much. It's going to be 5 years of litigation, times this, times that, divided by that. Okay, it's worth it was. Boom, pay him. Do a non-disclosure, an NDA, give him a Stormy Daniels, just pay him something, make him go away. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because he's not going away. He's not going away. But, whatever it is. This is where we are now. I'm not explaining the profession or my profession. I'm telling you this is the way it is. This is the way it is. And what dominion means is what I heard somebody the other day say, I can't believe Fox News chickened out. I would have gone to trial. What are you, nuts? And by the way, Dominion is not precedent. That's in the state of Delaware. That's not an appellate case. That doesn't mean anything. You don't sue in Saginaw, Michigan because this guy in Delaware. No, there's no precedent. It's not like an appellate case, which is persuasive versus mandatory. Appellate court, Supreme Court, that's the case. But it sets the mood. It sets the mood. And people don't understand cases. One day I'll tell you about the Stella Liebeck commercial case. This is the McDonald's coffee case. You don't understand that one. You were told it's silly. It was ridiculous. A woman who got burned by hot coffee. Well, what do you expect coffee to be? No, it was molten. Free speech is under attack. Now listen to me. Stop writing for a moment. And listen to what I'm saying. You're always interested in freedom of speech as being affected by the government. By the government. Elon Musk says, the government. They're reading our DMs. I can't believe this. I've been shadow banned. And that's important. I've been ignored. I've been shelved. I've been canceled. You cancel culture. They're canceled. You're right. But there's something else is happening here. This is libel, defamation, the fear of getting sued. I can't say anything. And none of this makes any sense. What's the difference between Jack Teixeira, and Daniel Ellsberg, and Julian Assange? Good luck. Right in essence. Tell me what the difference is. You know what the difference is? Nothing. I mean, there's some differences, but in essence, nothing. Depends on, do we like this person or we like Ellsberg? He's okay. He's a hero. He's a whistleblower. What about Jack Teixeira? No. Thief, espionage, Julian Assange, ooh, stinko. We really don't like him. But they're all the same. Doesn't matter. It's the climate. If you've ever seen birds fly, starlings in a murmuration, they move in these beautiful, that's humans. That's who we are. We move and we just do things. All of a sudden one day somebody says, hey, tattoos are good. Okay. And they're just all of a sudden overnight. How do you like these? Grandma, look at my tattoo. Isn't this great? Don't you love this? Why'd you get that, Grandma? I don't know. I just wanted to fit in. But Grandma, your skin, doesn't matter. Why do you use this phrase? Why do you say, hey guys? Did you hear Don Jr. the other day? Hey guy. By the way, he was basically giving you heck for going after Anheuser-Busch. What was that about? Oh, I don't know. We're busy. Okay. Hey guys. Where does hey guys come from? Hey guys, I'm going to show you guys something. Hey guys. Why are you saying that? I don't know. Just like people are slamming. Dylan Mulvaney was slammed by Jim Jordan, who slammed Jerry Nadler, who slammed, trash, slammed, destroyed, slammed. Why are you saying that? I don't know. We just speak like that. Slammed. Remember when you know what I'm saying was a big thing? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? I said, you just started this sentence. How the hell do I know what you're saying? Give me 2 or 3 words in, then hit me with it. Yeah, but everybody's saying, you know what I'm saying? Well, but you're using it at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying was the biggest thing. Everybody said this. Then there was so-called. Malcolm X did this. And the so-called Negro, I understand the context. Like putting quotes around it or italics. I got it. But there was the so-called police. No, excuse me. They are called the police. You're using it contextually wrong. It doesn't matter. That's who we are. And that's what you are. You're like this. And you're in your own little bubble, your own little world. This is your world, but instead of the world, you might be I'm in the 17-year-old TikTok dancer. I'm in that little world. My world is I'm a 45-year-old conspiracy theorist, as you are called, who believes that the government is trying to listen to my thoughts. You're over here. This is your world. Huge. What about you? I'm just into baking and self-help. You're over here. Following this. There's so many of these little Get somebody's, one day if you can, say, do you mind if may I see your YouTube channel or TikTok? See what their algorithm is. And you will say, wow, I've never heard of any of these people, because you're not there. Look at their Twitter. I like to look at Twitter. Can I just look at yours? It's like, ooh, look what you're reading. They don't. Where's, Fox News or Gateway Pundit or whatever? Where you don't have any Victor Davis Hanson. Who? They fly and they follow and they perambulate and locomote in a different world. And I'm telling you what it is, and you're not going to hear anybody today explain to you what dominion really means. Because here's the question. This is what Rupert Murdoch should be saying. What do you want me to do? How do I report on a story without republishing something that may be slanderous, but I'm just reporting on the story? Do we have an opinion? Do we always have this? The opinions of the guest host are not necessarily. Do we do that again? What do we do? How do we prevent this? Number one are the text messages. So all of the geniuses, all of the ones, whether it's Ingram or Tucker or Sean or whoever it was, they never thought. That's the difference. You don't have those. Without those text messages, I can't prove malice, reckless disregard for the truth. But when you're saying, this guy's crazy, well, you know what they say, we got to put him on. We don't want to lose those Trump voters. Ta-da! Hoist by your own petard. Okay? You got that? Does that make any sense to you? I hope it does. One more thing. You don't want to be hoist by your own EMP disaster. That's why EMP Shield is a great sponsor of ours. And we love them, and we want you to look, again, do your research and prepare to get just mind boggled. And it works like that. EMP Shield, because believe me, these attacks are real and they scare me to death, as people say. All right, dear friends, you have a great and a noble and a glorious day. We will see you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube for the most comprehensive, the most incredibly deep and thought-provoking, scary stuff regarding the protection of our most innocent citizens, our children. Until then, remember these final words. This valedictory, the monkey's dead, the show's over, sue ya. Ta-ta.